So there's been some discussion lately on creating villains for your games, and I wanted to weigh in on this because I have a point of view that I believe will be very different than the ones already voiced. So I think it's way more important for a villain to reach players on an emotional level, rather than just them seeing him logically or mechanically for him to be a suitable obstacle in their way. And I'm going to give you an example. So in about 20 minutes, I'm going to have people start showing up for a game called Monsters and Other Childish Things. And in that, you play kids who have pet monsters who are real. And my plans for the night are just mostly pages in which I can find stuff in the book and a few vague ideas laying out. Because whenever the players are going along and I need to throw an antagonist to their protagonist, I'm going to choose ones that I think are going to reach them on the right level. They're playing kids. I'm going to have teachers that remind me of ones that annoyed me when I was a kid. I'm going to have bullies based on people that I knew whenever I was growing up. I'm going to reach them on every possible level to emotionally hit them. And I want them to recognize what they hate in others in these characters. And to me, that is way more important than that villain having some great overarching plan. They just have to react to them in a more visceral sense. So another thing that's come up is how to keep players from simply killing a monster. And again, I don't see it that way. A great example of this is, I might have mentioned this before, it's from Misspent Youth, and in the advice that they give you for a player who's being very aggressive is to throw a conflict toward the players where, say, the school bully is picking on them and they get into a fight. And the players might say, okay, if we win, we show everybody that we can take care of ourselves. And you as a GM say, great, if I win, you kill them. Now if you think about that, if you were a kid and you murdered somebody in a school fight, that would change everyone's opinion of you. And that is a great way for that villain to truly affect the player. People will talk about ways to keep their villains alive, and I don't see it that way at all. NPCs are paper. They are there to get ripped apart, torn up, thrown across the room. Whatever happens in the story, whatever makes the story better. We have to remember that to a player in your game, if they don't have an emotional connection to that character, be it villain or friend, that character is just words to them. They should just rise and fall with the drumbeat of the narrative to your game. This might be a bit of an extreme point of view, but if you want really good characters in your story, they have to be people that your players enjoy interacting with, whatever form that interaction may take. So stop listening to me and start thinking about ways to make your characters emotionally connect to the players.